like we need to understand that everything in life is good and is bad. It's like yin and yang, right? There's a What's up, what's happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sister Oz, and today I'm talking about religion and why I feel like canceling it is not the way. We shouldn't be canceling it, and I'll tell you why. But firstly, I just want to talk about why I'm interested in the conversation, right? I feel like in 2021 people are becoming so secular, and for us women especially, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense because it to a certain extent it grounds us. But anyway, people have become so secular, and I feel it is to our detriment because we are losing the relationship or a certain aspect about reality that maybe we don't understand, but it does exist, right? And I know for a fact, because as a womb holder I understand that there's magic that happens in my body from time to time, when I happen to, my eggs meet up with a sperm and it gets fertilized. Like, there's magic that happens. I don't know how to explain that magic, but I know it exists, and I don't want to pretend like it doesn't exist. I also want to say that I understand that the traditional religious institutions, the Christianity, Catholicism, like Islam, all these other things, have their own, negativity, and they've been polluted to a certain extent. But that is not to say that we cannot come up with ways to have structures for our own spiritual development. We don't need to necessarily adapt to what is already there, especially if it's toxic, right? So I'm here to say that let us engage in being innovative, and let us engage in having pride in whatever it is that works for you, and connect with similar people. So I'd like to say firstly as well that I come from a Rastafari background. I am no longer Rastafari in that sense, but my lifestyle to a certain extent still resembles that. But I'm very grounded because of that foundation, and I choose to move with that grounding and that humbleness and that humility to just continue and just live out my peace and my calmness in dealing with reality and my life. So I feel like we need to understand that everything in life is good and is bad. It's like yin and yang, right? There's a good thing that can be done, let me say, with a gun. You can do bad and you can do good. And the good would be obviously protecting yourself from people who want to do bad, because you're just not going to use a gun for fun, right? So I'm just putting it out there to say that a spoon, for instance, you can use it to feed yourself, or you can use it to kill yourself with like obesity kind of thing. So religion, we know that we've seen how they use it negatively to indoctrinate human beings, to keep people in a trance and all these things, and to like scam people and all these things that have been happening, especially here in South Africa. So there's, people have been using it in that way, but we can also use it for the original way that it was supposed to be used, like spiritual structures, and I choose to use it as spiritual structures, but it still is religious to a certain extent. So I don't want to run away from that term because we've weaponized that term. So the spiritual structures can be used to provide structure and form and order for how you choose to progress and live in life and live in peace with humanity, while moving forward to complete your purpose here on earth, right? Whether your purpose is having fun or your purpose is whatever your purpose is, my purpose is actually bringing light to the concept of divine femininity and this is the intellectual way that I this is my intellectual output, right? But physically I have my own woman works that I do, that I feel for now I don't want to put it out there because I respect experience. I respect that I have a lot to learn, and the more I am grounded enough to learn, the more when I do eventually emerge as a teacher, I would have my own teaching or talking points, as opposed to hearing a Queen Afua, for instance, and then wanting to regurgitate her words. I want to live this thing, and I'm very patient with myself, and I have developed a system of how to enhance and how to actually vibrate so high that you're able to easily connect with yourself, and you're able to actually easily be yourself. I really am not tainted by anybody. I have my own thought processes. I think my own way. I listen to my own body. If things don't seem right and don't feel right to me, even if the next person seems like it, so that is my own form of spiritual structure. I have developed myself enough, and I have foundations. These foundations they are Christian because I was raised in a Christian home, as well as traditional because I'm Xhosa, and we do practice African traditional religions, for lack of a better term. So those are my foundations. And when I grew up, I chose Rastafari. So my foundations have always been grounded, and I do advocate for that, because if you have something that grounds you, whether it's African spirituality, it's also still religion. Whether it's because it comes with its own things, it comes with its own practices. You have to do certain things. Even like if for us in South Africa, there's Amangoma, and the African spirituality comes with Ukphahla, which is like prayer in the altar. We use those words because asumthandazo per se, it's Ukphahla, is to communicate with your spirit or your ancestors, whatever. So those were structures that were put in place to play some form of support in the development of the spirit, right? Or the development of the soul towards attaining its purpose. Because you didn't just come to earth to just work? To just do what? You came, everybody has a purpose. And if you cannot do that on your own, then I would advise, especially if some of us do not have the proper upbringing, I would advise that you work with your spirit, you work with your soul, take it step by step, and you can start learn like a child. And the best way to learn like a child is to go to people who know. And in most instances, it's normally people who already have some form of belief structure. You don't necessarily have to believe in what other people believe in, but ground yourself enough to be able to be a student, to be able to learn, to be able to ground yourself. I feel like the importance of any religious structure is to ground one as so that they can be able to tune in. That's the only thing. That is the end goal. Is to tune in so that you can hear your voice loud enough. You can hear your God loud enough. And I feel like religious structures, not the ones that are in place, the ones that are necessary. The witch movement is a religious structure. Voodoo movement is a religious structure, or brujas, whatever they call them. The religious structures, so there's spiritual institutions that are made to support the development, especially if then it's a community. It works best because you're able to grow with the community, because you learn from each other. So that's how it formed. The negative aspect of religion is not what I'm focusing on, and I cannot highlight this enough. The negative structure, or the negative side of the religious structures or the spiritual structures, is what has made people to want to turn secular. I cannot turn secular because I have a womb. I cannot say this enough. I know there's magic in my body. It happens every month. It happens every time when my egg is fertilized by sperm. There's magic, and I just can't look past that. I can't. I tried. I did fall into the trend of wanting to put religion aside and whatnot. Then I realized that no, it's not. The world doesn't need this right now. The world needs a lot of structure. The world needs a lot of order, especially us, the African, in order for us to re-identify our superpowers. Ours was family as well as our spiritual inclination, because we used it to survive, which is what I am advocating for. Not take it to church. I'm 100% against church. I don't have a problem with people congregating and especially trying to get into a trance state, around fire, which is what we do here in Africa, around fire and all of those things, but not to sit down and to want to gobble up a person's words and no. If you're a woman and you have a husband, do that with your family. If you're a person, you're alone, do that with your family still. I don't advocate for church, and that's another thing, because people's churches are more beautiful than where people live, and for me that's very sad. For me, it also it doesn't talk to the reality of humanity. It adds to the concept of capitalism that we striving to survive. We're not even living anymore. We're striving to survive. So if an institution is supposed to provide peace and is supposed to provide all the solace for human beings, it shouldn't be your stress. You shouldn't have dates in church. You shouldn't, which is things that happen. People, churches and stuff. What? People pay their pastors or what? So I'm here to say that we need to own our spiritual development. We need to own it. And whatever religious structure you choose to use, it doesn't matter, as long as the end goal is you understanding yourself. You tune in so much that you hear your voice, you hear your purpose, and you hear no other thing. You're not disturbed by no other thing. I made a video about developing a relationship with yourself or your God. I will link the video in the description bar. I feel like we need to talk more about this, and I feel like the catchphrases of people being atheists and all these things, it's not going to help humanity. Humanity doesn't need robots. No. We need more human beings. We need more human beings. It will make our lives that much better. It will even enhance our struggle as women, our real genuine struggle of actually being seen for our superpowers. But if we're wanting to compete with men, we are losing our superpowers to the very same men who understand that they will continue to fool women, because there's something about women and the spirit thing. I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel. I will catch you in the next video. Bye y'all.